Have you ever said to yourself that you're not good enough? Or have you ever doubted yourself whenever you're doing so well but still struggle to accept that you're doing so well? Don't worry, I've got you today. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. I'm so glad to be back here to share with you some insights into something that I've been struggling with myself even while I was a student, even now as I am working and being a graduate. And today I'll be talking to you about how to overcome imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is something that we all go through on every day. People struggle with it, and so I'll be sharing some insights into what it is, what are the causes of it, what are the factors that make you doubt yourself and things like that. So if you are new here, my name is Esther. I'm a current pharmacy graduate and I'm working currently as a Pre-reg Pharmacist in a community pharmacy. So today I'll be sharing with you how I overcome imposter syndrome, and I hope someone will be able to learn from this and help to deal with imposter syndrome. So if you are new, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any video that I upload on my channel. So with that being said, without further ado, let's go straight into the video. So, imposter syndrome. Before I go into the tips of how to overcome imposter syndrome, I would like to share with you what imposter syndrome is and what are the factors that spark this within you, what makes you self-doubt yourself, and then I will go into the tips of how to overcome imposter syndrome. So you might want to grab a cup of tea because there's a lot to talk about today and a lot to learn from it today. So imposter syndrome, guys, this is as simple as you self-doubting yourself or feeling like a fraud for gaining attention or accolades for your own accomplishment. Those who experience imposter syndrome tend to believe that they are undeserving, inadequate, and can feel overwhelmed by self-doubt. I know some of you watching me would have gone through this in one way or the other, and there are many things that can spark this in you, such as family dynamics where there is family expectation of accomplishment. For example, parents comparing their children, and they expect you to have this accomplishment, but this is you're not even working towards that. You just want to do something else, but they have a certain value for the type of accomplishment you're making, and this can bring into comparison between kids, and this can also spark imposter syndrome in people. Another thing is cultural expectations. There are different cultures in the world, and different cultures put different values on education, career, and different definition of success. For example, I know in my culture, studying up to the point that, especially when you're female and you study, it's just like it's normal for you to go to university, do a degree, finish your degree, do your master's, finish your master's, do a PhD. So there is that level of accomplishment and value that they're expecting you to be successful at. But this is you are not getting to that stage, and before you know it, you start comparing yourself, and that can spark imposter syndrome in you. Another thing is individual personality traits. Perfectionism. Guys, when you yourself, you feel like everything needs to be perfect for me to get to that vision I am seeing, for me to get that value that I am successful. I'm an example of this. I have so many ideas of things I want to do, but because in my head I feel like it has to be perfect for me to actually do it, I end up not doing all these things, and then I start putting a lot of self-doubt in myself that, oh, I don't think I'll be able to do this. And then before you know it, you start comparing yourself to others because of that perfectionism in your head, that you have to be perfect for you to achieve that goals or to achieve that vision you want to achieve. Another thing is comparison, which, if you notice what I've mentioned every time I keep talking about comparison, it all boils down to comparison. You're comparing yourself to someone that the person is better than you, they can achieve better than you. You don't have the ego, you don't even have the ability to achieve what they have achieved. Another thing is your parents comparing you to your other siblings, thinking your other siblings, for example, maybe your sibling is very good, they just get things easily, they don't even have to work hard for something, but it just come naturally to them. And like this comparison come between siblings, and parents do this a lot. Even culture, like we said, another family comparing themselves to another family's children, thinking, oh, they're doing this, they're achieving this, and things like that. So all these things are things that can spark self-doubt or imposter syndrome in you. So guys, now let's go into how you could overcome imposter syndrome, overcome this trait that has been bringing up, that has been sparking up self-doubt in you. One of my very first tips is that you should define what success means to you without including the approval of others. This is easier said than done. You know, sometimes we know what success means. For example, when I sit this exam and I pass, that means success to me. However, then you have this little comparison in you that, oh my god, somebody else got 98%. It would have been nice if I got 98% and things like that. Does that mean success to you? You want to know you want to define what success means to you. And this is how I do it. I pick a pen and paper because I love to write things down, because when I write things down, I see it's more visually me writing things down than keeping it in my head. So you can pick a pen and paper to write down what success means to you. To you, does it mean that you achieving these goals? Okay, you have a career dreams to do this and do this, and that is what success means to you. Or you want to go for this talk, or you want to attend this, you want to build yourself personally, like personal development, or even you trying to come out of your house and going to visit your friends could be success to you. You know what I mean? That some of us that we're quite introvert, that would rather stay indoors than go out, but actually getting out of the house to visit your friend is actually a success for you. Getting to meet people, getting to know more people, and connecting people. You can write that down to you, and what this means is that you will be able to visualize this every time you have this self-doubt creeping up in you, telling you that, oh, you're not good enough, I don't think I'm able to do this, I don't think I have the ability to do this. And by doing this, it will help you to be grateful for where you are, and be helpful for you to be grateful for every little achievement that you've achieved in life. Okay, my second point is that you should practice self-realistic goals. For example, when it comes to being a content creator like myself, I usually get a lot of self-doubt, which is why sometimes you see me not posting a lot, because sometimes I shoot a lot of videos, and when I'm editing, I'm just like, nah, that's not good enough, somebody has done this better than me, and I just trash it and put it in the bin. That is self-doubt. It's just like, and because I'm like, oh my god, it's not realistic for me to be like, okay, I want 100 people to view this video, I want this, like that. But sometimes starting small, starting slowly, like taking the baby steps, is self-realistic goals. For example, we all talk about self-care, we all talk about being productive and things like that. And for example, my plan for the day is, okay, I want to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, do some studying before 7 a.m, get ready for work, get out, go to work, come back from work, have dinner, do some more studying, do a bit of some self-care and things like that. That's not realistic for me, because I'm not working, and there's some things that is not possible. Waking up at 5 a.m. is not something that's going to happen, because I know I'm going to sleep late, and then waking up 5 a.m. to study and things like that, it's not just going to happen. That's not realistic for me. So practice self-realistic goals. Self-realistic goals for me is, at least every day, I want to learn one drug. I want to know everything about that one drug, and since I have set that realistic goal for myself, I do it, and I don't stress myself on not achieving too much or not learning things compared to my colleagues or compared to my mates and things like that. So make sure you're practicing self-realistic goals. My third point would be to praise yourself for successes and efforts. For every little achievement, please praise yourself and just celebrate it. By doing this, you'll be able to avoid having self-doubt in yourself. A very good example of this myself as well. I remembered when I finished my university, I never celebrated anything, because I just was like, well, there's a pandemic, there's no graduation, I still have to do pre-reg, I think I'll celebrate things later and things like that. Before you know it, I don't celebrate all my little achievements, and by this I start having self-doubt, and then I start comparing myself to others. And what you don't know is that the people you're comparing yourself to, they're actually celebrating every little milestone that they have actually been able to jump through, to go through and overcome. And because you see them celebrating this little milestone, that is why you start having self-doubt in yourself. But you shouldn't. You should also celebrate every little milestone. So praise yourself for every little successes you've done. For example, if it's about journaling every day, journaling could be as it's easier said than done, but it's going to be very hard for you to actually practice journaling every day, practice being grateful every day, practice, you know, being contented every day. Doing these little things would help you to take all the self-doubt of yourself and can avoid self-doubt creeping out and you doubting yourself that you're not good enough. My fourth point is to practice responding to failure in a healthy way. Failure can be a huge thing, and everyone deals with failure differently. The way I deal with failure is different from you, it's different from someone, it's different from my brother, it's different from my dad, it's different from everybody else. Never compare your way of dealing with failure to somebody else. Failure can be heartbreaking. It can be I can't even find the word. It can actually condescend you that way. Who are you? You are not even good at, you failed this and this. And let me tell you a story you've never heard from me. During my final year at university, I failed 2 main modules, and this could have made me not to graduate. And it got to a point I had to lock myself away from my friends. I did not want to speak to my friends. I did not want to do anything just because I failed. And this is something that I've never failed before throughout my whole years at university. Why is this happening when I'm about to graduate? It got to a point, of course, the Christianity in me started thinking, oh my God, the devil is here. The devil is a liar ready to pick up on me. But guys, we all know as Christian, devil can do things, but truthfully as well, it's okay to fail. It's fine. In as much as you pick yourself up, you reflect on why you failed and try to do better. Thankfully, I reflected, even though I was just being a bum, looking myself in and just like, oh my God, I don't want to socialize anymore, because I feel like because I'm socializing too much, that is why I'm failing. I don't have enough time to study. Even though I keep studying 10 hours a day, I still feel like it wasn't enough. I just thought, okay, let me be in the library 24/7, studying so I could understand this thing. But that was not the answer. I was just thankful to my dad. Speaking to my dad sometimes helped me to get over that failure. If you have to speak to someone, speak to someone. Let them understand where you're coming from. There were so many failures that came to me during my final year at university, and I will speak on that on another video because it was just so personal. I was just like, wait, what's going on? I'm about to get to the end of this. Why is all these failures coming in? But like I said, I always love to speak to my dad. His word of knowledge, his words of wisdom just literally gets me out of wherever slum or bomb I'm feeling myself in. And if that is what you have to do that. Sometimes if you have to take some time off from the world, please be my guest. Do that. Take some time to yourself. Reflect on why you failed. Reflect on, okay, what can I do better next time? What do I need to do to make sure I don't go through this failure again? Failure should not be the end of the world. It actually should be a starting point for you to reflect on yourself so you can do better next time. So my 5th point and my last point is that do not rely exclusively on external validation. I know we always want people to approve of what we are saying. People should validate what we want to do. You know, you just feel like, okay, let me get this validation because that will motivate me more to actually put effort into what I want to do. For example, I have dreams. I have so many things I wanted to do with my channel. I wanted to do with my brand and things like that. I always find that if I need to speak to some people to see if what I'm thinking is making sense, if I'll be able to pull it off and things like that. But sometimes relying too much, like I said, exclusively on external validation can actually limit you and creep up self-doubt in you. And for example, because there are some negative people, there are some positive people, which is why it's very important to make sure that you have a good and right circle of people that, you know, when you speak to them, it sparks motivation and they support you with whatever decision you're doing, in as much as it's not a dangerous decision. You know what I mean? So because there are some people that are negative, that you tell them your ideas and then all they do is they talk negative about it, and that just creeps self-doubt in you, and before you know it, you put your ideas in the bin. But what you don't know is that they're stealing their ideas for you, and they're going to work on that idea they told you not to work on, and they're going to do great in it, and then you start feeling self-pity for yourself. Please just make sure that you can speak to people, you can get external validation, but don't rely exclusively on them. People can advise you on certain things you want to do, but please don't think whatever they've advised you want to do it. You can listen to what they have to say, pick a pen and paper, sit down by yourself, pick their advice, write down the pros and cons, and just put things together for your own good, and make sure that that decision you make and the final decision you're making comes from you and you only, and not just based on what you've heard from people outside. So I hope you've been able to learn one or two things on how to overcome imposter syndrome. It's okay to have self-doubt in yourself, but sometimes don't dwell on that too much, because that just keeps stopping you from achieving your dreams, stopping you from achieving your goals, and you just have this self-doubt that just keeps creeping up, and before you know it, you don't even do anything, you don't even start that dream that of yours, that goals that you wanted to do. So I hope you've been able to learn one or two things on how to overcome imposter syndrome today. So that brings me to the end of this video. To summarize, how can you overcome imposter syndrome? 1. Define what success means to you without including the approval of others. Practice solve realistic goals. 3. Praise yourself for successes and efforts. Every little achievement, celebrate it. 4. Practice responding to failure in a healthy way. And number 5, do not rely exclusively on external validation. So guys, I hope you've learned something today. And because now I'm not starting to tell you more about, like, some life topics and things like that, I'm touching on things, I have decided to do question of the week on all of my videos from now on, because I want to hear from you, because I don't just want everything to be coming from me. I want us to be back and forth, learn from each other. So today's question of the week is, how do you deal with imposter syndrome? Let me know in the comments below. Let's share with each other. Let's see how you deal with it, because your ways might be different from mine, and we can all learn from each other. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and also share with your friends, because they could also learn one or two things from what I have spoken about today. And thank you so much, guys, and I will see you all in my next video. And do not forget, you've got this. Take care. Bye.